Morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Nice having all of you here today. Welcome to our Super Wednesday masterclass. I welcome you all from wherever you are. The champions, the unstoppable champions, the global champions, the highly favored. I welcome everyone in the team to this meeting this morning. I want to take you through the champions leadership structure, and to do that, I'm going to be taking you through how to regiment your business, right? How to regiment your business. So we're going to be looking at regimenting your MLM business for success, and that will now allow me to be able to, tell you exactly what you need to know, because it's important you understand regimentation. It's important you understand why we do what we do. You see, no business grows where you don't have control. No business grows where you don't have accountability, right? And that is the reason why we have the regimented workflow in our team, the Champions Business Group, so that we are able to use these systems and be able to create a formidable business for ourselves. We have said it over and over again that the way to grow your business, the way you can take your business to the next level, is by industrializing the connected economy. Now, the connected economy is such that anybody can come in from anywhere, right? What does it take for you to join the connected economy under the umbrella of empowered consumerism? It takes us 50,000 naira. So any Tom, Dick, or Harry who has 50,000 naira can join the connected economy, just like so many people have done. They join the system, they like the system, they join the system, but they have no wish, no desire to build something substantial. They have no desire to push themselves into creating any form of result. So they waltz into the system, and once they've experienced any form of difficulty, the same way they dance in is the same way they're going to dance out. And once they get out there, they point fingers at our team, at our business, and tell us how useless this business is, how ineffective network marketing is, and how they wasted the whole money they've saved all their life. Just 50,000 naira, right? And of course, these people don't create any results. So you see, the reason that happens is basically because a lot of people function in a regimented system, and when you bring them into an unregimented system, they no longer are able to perform, right? They have been in an office where the boss has to, they've been in an office where the boss has to tell them what to do over and over again. If you don't do this, there are consequences. If you come late, there are consequences. If you don't meet your targets, there are consequences. And because of all this, you find out that this set of people function under a regimented system, under a system of control. Now, when you bring them into network marketing and they come into this system and they are here and they discover that nobody is overlooking them, nobody is putting them under pressure, guess what happens? Everything begins to look so strange to them. They begin to look for ways of keeping themselves busy. They begin to jump into the management trap. They begin to think about paperwork. They begin to, do everything that doesn't create success in our business. That is what they focus on. But the core activities that create success, they will never go there because they are functioning in an unregimented business, in an unregimented system. And we know that, yes, it's possible for them to create some level of success, doing that, right? We know it can happen by luck. But for you to build anything big, anything substantial, anything worthwhile in this industry, you must regiment your business, right? And we have done this. We have regimented our business, and we have regimented our business through creating systems, through a structure, through setting up offices from where we industrialize the connected economy. Industrializing the connected economy is all about bringing industrial economy mindset and principles into a connected economy business system. And when you are able to successfully do that, you can build something very, very, very formidable. So I'm going to touch on various aspects of our business today that will help you see exactly how you can get this thing done. Our meeting this morning will not last 1 hour. We may be here for the next 1 hour, 30 minutes, thereabout. So I crave your indulgence, listen, and let us get everything we want, right? Because what we are hearing, you're going to hear today, will help you towards your qualification for Dubai. Will also help you towards being in Abuja on the 25th, 26th, 27th for the all-important homecoming of champions, right? So let's go right into the matter. So I'm looking at regimenting your MLM business for success. So the big question is, why regiment your business? Why regiment your business in the first place, right? Now, regimenting your business creates an attitude for success. It creates an attitude for success because, you see, without regimentation, that attitude is not there. Most people come in, they have this attitude of an MD CEO. Meanwhile, you've never been an MD CEO, right? And you think being an MD CEO is all about you sleeping, waking up by 10 o'clock, come to the office by 12 o'clock, put in 1 or 2 hours without any form of supervision, because of course you're an MD CEO, and you close by 3 o'clock and you go home, achieve nothing, get nothing, and then you claim you've done the business, right? That is not how CEOs function. So you see, you need to have the right attitude to create business success. Regimenting your business allows you to create, it creates a series of activities that drives the business, right? And that's very important. When you go to a bank and you work in a bank, there are a sequence of activities that you must do every day. If you're a lecturer, there are a sequence of activities that you must do every day. If you're a doctor, there are a sequence of activities that you must do every day. And this is so that you touch all important aspects of the business. So too in our business, right? Without regimentation, you might not be able to do those sequence of activities that create success in our business. You might think you are doing it, but you might just be hanging around 1 or 2 things, and those things might not be enough to give you the result you are looking for. Regimentation creates accountability structures in the business, right? It allows you to create accountability. It puts in consequences for inaction, right? And of course, allows you to be recognized when you take actions, right? So regimentation provides consequences for inaction. When you don't do something right, there are consequences. When you don't do something to standard, there are consequences. When you don't do what needs to be done, there are consequences. This is what regimentation is all about. And a lot of people don't like regimentation. They don't like consequences. And because of that, they want to function under regimentation. I mean, function out of regimentation. So, and because they're not regimented, guess what happens? They are not able to push themselves to create the success that they require. You see, in many of our offices around Nigeria, you find that leaders in these offices, core leaders in these offices, insist on additional consequences in this connected system when people default. And when you make yourself one of those who are ready to accept the consequences for wrong action, right? You are one of those who eventually grows very well in the business. The Bible says that him that the Father loves, he chastises, right? He chastises, and that's the truth. If God loves you, he's going to chastise you so that you can bear more fruit. The Bible also says that when talking about the vine, he said, any vine that does not bear fruit, what happens? That vine is cut and burnt, right? So when people don't bear fruits, they are cut and burnt. But any vine that bears fruits, what happens to it? It is pruned, right? It is pruned. And pruning means cutting off the part of the vine that is not, that does not contribute to the growth of the vine and to the proper functioning of the tree. That's pruning, right? Instead of pulling out resources unnecessarily, those parts are cut away so that the plant can receive resources, enough for it. Those are the kind of things we do with people in our team too. When we see that you are somebody who is running the business full time, you are somebody who is coming to the office to do the business, we bring down the consequences upon you. And if you accept the consequences, because it's actually, something that you can choose to accept or not. Some people can say, you know what, I won't take those consequences, and because of that, I will abandon the business. That's all right. It's your life. It's not our life. But if you decide I'm going to go through the consequences because I want to be pruned, you are going to be pruned. You're going to be pruned. That's why the Bible says when you spare the rod, you spoil the child. And that's why every right-thinking parent does not stop from punishing a child who defaults so that child can be set aright. Same thing in our business. As leaders who have gone through a whole lot of challenges, we've seen a whole lot of things go wrong. And we understand the mindset of most people who come into the business. They are coming with a mindset of, it's my own, it's my thing, I want to do things my own way. And we know that your own way cannot create results. If we don't provide consequences, you will be an influence to people who are ready to be pruned to create results. Right? So you need to understand that when you regiment your business, there are consequences for wrong actions. And also there are leaders who give themselves punishment for not taking the right actions. They give themselves punishment. I've seen leaders who sleep on the ground just because they didn't meet their targets. I've seen leaders who refuse to eat just because they didn't meet their target. I've seen leaders who have said, I will not eat today until I make 50 calls. And because they want to make the 50 calls, they have to make the 50 calls first before they eat. Right? But I've seen leaders who say there's no problem. Let me just live my life. You know, it's they continue to kumbaya all over the place and enjoy myself, and they don't do anything significant. Now you perform better under regimentation. When you are regimented, someone is observing you, someone is seeing what you are doing, and because you know you are being observed, you perform better under observation. And guess what? You see, when you are not being observed, you tend to perfect, yes, but you end up perfecting the wrong thing. You have the wrong script and you perfect the wrong thing. We've seen people who say, come to the office, let's make calls together. And people will say, you know what, let me make the calls from home. I know how to make the calls and make the calls from home. And you're not telling, you know what, okay, why not make one or two so that I can hear you and I can let you go home. And you see the person now says, hello, good morning. I am a big announcement to all my friends and well-wishers. And you say, that's what this guy is going to do at home. I am a big announcement to all my friends and well-wishers. Right? And because of that, you see that they are going to perfect it. They're going to teach their downlines who they eventually sign up. And those of also perfect the wrong thing. And then you have people handing down the wrong thing. And eventually everybody quits. Right? You cannot control what you don't track. You want to build your business? Track your business. How do you know what's happening in your team when you're not regimented? How do you know how many calls are made in your team? How do you know how many follow-up calls are made? How do you know how many people attend your presentations? How do you know all these things when you don't track them? How do you track them when your business is not regimented? It's important you understand the power of tracking. Without tracking, you can't do anything. And you get honest feedback from others. People tell you how your leadership structure is. They tell you when you're doing well. They tell you when you're not doing well, most especially. People tell you when you're sidetracking. They tell you when you're going wrong, right? They tell you when you're not producing results. You get honest feedback because they see you in the regimented system. It forces you to follow through on commitments. When you run a regimented system, you tell people what you need to do. You make a commitment, it forces you to go ahead. I've made a commitment today. On the 25th, 24th, 26th, and 27th, we're going to have our gathering of champions, the homecoming of champions. And guess what? Now I have to follow through on this commitment because I've said it, I've voiced it, I have to follow through on it. What if it does not have, what if I don't have a regimented system? Right? Of course, definitely nothing is going to come out of it, right? So it creates firm deadline for important tasks. You want to create results, you want to hit targets, you need to hit your targets through a regimented system. When you have a regimented system that puts you to work, that allows you to go ahead and do what needs to be done over and over and over again. When you have a regimented system that holds you accountable, guess what? You can create firm deadlines and you can meet your targets, right? In a regimented system, you learn from the successes and failures of others because they're very visible for you to see. You have seen what they are doing, you have seen the numbers they are doing, and with that, you can be able to, you can be able to extrapolate your own results based on your own numbers. When you see somebody doing 5 calls a day and you see his results, you see another person doing 50 calls a day, you see his results. You see another person doing 100 calls a day, you see his results. Guess what happens? You know who to follow. You know the number of calls to make. This becomes obvious to you because you are functioning in a regimented system. So you can pick from the failures of people, you can pick from their mistakes, you can pick from things they are not doing well and also create results for yourself, right? Regimenting your business prevents little problems from turning into really big problems. And that's a fact. It prevents little problems from becoming big problems. Because when you regiment your system, you are able to solve a lot of challenges at the beginning when they're just coming up. Instead of letting them become big issues. People are not coming to your presentations, you're already seeing it because it's a regimented system. You're already seeing it, right? And because you're seeing it, you can control the factors. In your cell meeting, you can tell people, okay, let's make invitation. You can talk to people during the cell meetings. You can find out what they are doing. You stop the problem in the board. You nip the problem in the board. You don't let it become something very big. People are not showing up in your business. You're able to handle that because your system is regimented. But when you're running a free-for-all enterprise, guess what? You can't control anything. And regimenting gives you goals to strive to attain. You see, the business of M Global doesn't give us a lot of goals to attain, right? We just have the silver executive, gold executive, and global ambassador. Anybody can easily attain silver executive. But between silver executive and gold executive, that's where the work starts. And then you now start the Israelite journey between gold executive and global ambassador. You see, within this period, something needs to drive you. Something needs to be happening to keep you in the game. Something needs to keep you alive in the system. And that is where regimenting your system comes into play. So it is very, very important to understand the power of regimenting our system. Because when you understand this mindset, it can help you build your business. So what is the regimentation process in the Champions Business Group? I want us to understand the Champions leadership structure. We've mentioned this leadership structure in the past, and it's very important to understand this now, right? Because today, being the 18th of May, right, gives us about 2 months and a week thereabouts, 2 months and a week to prepare to be recognized on stage during the recognition ceremony holding during the homecoming of champions. Now get this. Recognition is a very powerful motivating force. Believe me, I've been recognized many times on stage, and I know the impact when people praise you and you are standing on stage there and you're seeing thousands of people shouting, right? When they're clapping for you, I know what it feels like. Are you with me? So I need to understand this. Recognition is so powerful that children cry for it and adults kill for it. Children cry for recognition. They're saying that the child that raised their hand up is the one that they will carry. So if the child that goes, mommy, 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 daddy, 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 that's the one that is being lifted up. If a child is not there, not raising their hands up, that child will not be recognized, will not be elevated. So for you to be elevated, you must make sure that you position yourself properly to be recognized. Right? So today I'll be talking to you about the champion leadership structure. Make sure you attain at least one of these recognition levels so that you're going to be called out on stage and you're going to be recognized. And you will be so shocked how far your business can grow. Also, I want to let some of you know that many of you are becoming silver executives, you are becoming gold executives, and yet you don't let your leaders know. And because you don't let your leaders know, nobody can recognize you. We want to recognize you. We want to post your pictures, we want to post your rank, we want to show the world that you are moving forward in the business, right? So it's very, very important. So for those of you who are not working towards becoming silver executives, gold executives, and the likes of it, you're not maintaining your account, you want to wake up. You really want to wake up. So this is the Champions leadership structure. Write it down and do all in your power to make sure that you attain at least one or two of these positions, the highest you can attain possible, and you will be recognized on stage, right? During our recognition program. It's not going to be an all-comers event where the whole world will be allowed to come. No, it's going to be an event that's going to be for just 200 people. 200 people, 200 smart and forward-thinking people, right? So the first level in our business is the level that is not a level. We call that the distributor level. And who is a distributor? A distributor is anyone who has registered in Alliance in Motion Global. Anyone who has signed up to do this business. So once you sign up to do this business, you are a distributor, but you have no rank, right? So what is the first level in our business? The first level in our business is a kingsman. And who is a kingsman? A kingsman is anyone who has connected 4 people using our SMO checklist. I will explain the SMO checklist before we are done here today. A kingsman is anyone who has connected 4 people using our SMO checklist. So what does it mean for you to be a kingsman? Use the SMO checklist, work the SMO checklist, within 30 days, connect 4 people, you become a kingsman. Right? So that's very powerful. So you want to be a kingsman, that is the definition. Screenshot it now. The next level that we are going to recognize in our business or in our retreat is going to be the connector. Who is a champion connector? A champion connector is anyone who has helped his 4 people to connect their own 4 using the SMO checklist and produce a total of 36 codes as a result. right? So you can see it is tied to the challenge 36. A connector in our team now is someone who has connected 4 people, right? And his 4 people connected their own 4 people using the SMO checklist, right? And produced 36 codes as a result. So if you want to be a connector that will be recognized, what you want to do between now and the end and our retreat date, connect 4 people, right? And work with each of your 4 to connect 4. So you don't need to connect 4 before they start connecting their own 4. No. As you connect the first person, you are working with him. You connect the second person, you're working with him. What that means is that a connector is anyone who has completed a 4-4-4 worksheet. You've completed 1-4-4-4 worksheet. You've connected 4 and you've worked with your 4 to connect their own 4. So every leader, this should be your modus operandi now, to create connectors in your teams, right? Because the connector is going to be seen as the basic unit of leadership in our team. So if you want to build your business and win, your job is to become a connector. If you want to be a leader in the team, your job is to build connectors. Now, I want to tell you people something. If your team leaders are not working with you in this direction of building connectors, you want to go back to them and ask them questions. And if they're not answering you, please step up to your G leader. Step up to your G leader, right? And then because everybody is trackable in our team, step up to your G leader and they will tell you what you need to do. A champion connector, a connector in the champions team, is anyone who has helped his 4 to connect their own 4 using the SMO checklist, and in the process you produce 36 codes. So it's not just in connecting 4, you connect 4, but you produce 36 codes. So that is what your mind should be going through your mind in the month. I'm going to work with these 4 people to connect their own 4 and generate 36 codes as a consequence. Now, what is a code? Somebody who started with 49990 generated 1 code because it matches you once. Somebody who did 79990 generated 1 code because it matches you once. Somebody who did a Neoverse generated 1 code because it also matches you once, right? Somebody who did a Technoverse generated 3 codes because Technoverse will give you 7 accounts, but it will match you 3 times. That's 3 codes. Someone who does a Digiverse generated 7 codes, even though he has 15 accounts, it matches you 7 times. So the code is the number of times going to match you, right? And then somebody who did Megaverse generated 15 codes, but it matched him, but has 31 accounts, right? But has 31 accounts. So the code is the number of times it is going to create a match. That's the number of binary points that will be there, right? And you know, of course, the binary point is what matches for you. So you must have generated 36 codes, right? Now, it doesn't mean that you are talking about 36 people. We're not talking about 36 people. Under those 4 people that you're talking about, right? And even if you generated more than 4 people, it doesn't matter. The total number of codes in your team should be 36. 36 codes in total, right? So for you to become a connector, you must have connected 4 people and using the SMO checklist, and your 4 people will produce 36 codes, right? That is how you become a champions connector. Give me a second. So it is really important we understand this, because this is the basic unit of leadership in our team. That's why I'm taking some time to dwell on it. Because if you understand what it takes to be a connector and you work towards creating connectors in your team, then you will see outstanding results. So leaders, this is the question you want to ask everybody who is coming to you, right? You want to ask them, what is your rank? Are you a connector? Are you a champion connector? Right? Are you a champion connector? If the person is not a champion connector, you want to let him know that he needs to become a champion connector to have access to you. So everybody needs to start working to produce champion connectors. And not just any, just letting things go that way. This is how we create the system. This is how you create the business. This is how you create amazing success for yourself. A champion connector is anyone who has helped his 4 connect their own 4 using the SMO checklist and produce a total of 36 codes as a result. Right? Now, the next level after the champion connector is called the champion senior connector. The champion senior connector. And who is the champion senior connector? A champion senior connector is anyone who has produced 2 champion connectors. Produce means you sponsored the person, right? You sponsored the person and the person became a champion senior, connector. You sponsored 2 people who became champion connectors, right? So if some other person sponsored the person, it's not counting for you. It counts for you when you are the one who sponsored the person. A champion senior connector is anyone who has produced 2 champion connectors. So 2 people you have worked with have become champion connectors, right? So 2 of them have each produced, sign up 4 people and generated 36 codes. Then you become a champion senior connector. The next level is a champion soaring connector. A champion soaring connector is anyone who has produced 5 champion connectors. So you see why it's important we understood the champion connectors very well, because almost everything is tied to that. A champion soaring connector is anyone who has produced 5 champion connectors. We're going to be recognizing you that day, right? And of course, we have the next level, the champion Ruby connector. The champion Ruby connector is anyone who has produced 7 champion connectors, right? So this means you have to work with your people very well, depending on what level you want to get to. Work with them and get this thing done between now and the next 2 months. So we can recognize them on stage and also recognize you on stage, right? So you see, it is not about you doing it for yourself. It's about you working for them to become recognized. So if you want to be recognized and you are there chasing, I want to become a Ruby connector, you will not get anywhere. But if your focus is, I want to help 7 of my teammates become champion connectors, guess what? You will become a champion Ruby connector. This business is designed in such a way that the only way you can grow is by helping others to grow. But if you are selfish, you cannot grow and you cannot help others to grow. That's why you find a lot of people coming to our business and they don't create results. They don't create results because they're selfish. It's all about them. I don't have time for the business. I don't have time. I'm busy. I am this. I am that. I go to work every day. I close from work very late. I don't have money. I is the reason you are broke. I is the reason your business is not growing, because you are self-centered. Right? You are self-centered. You are thinking only about yourself. What makes you think it's about you? Why do you really think it's about you? Why is it all about I? What if you say, yes, I know I am broke, but there is someone I want to help to become a millionaire? Yes, we know the added number that called non-habit, that you cannot give what you don't have. Yes, we understand that. But in network marketing, because of what they call duplication and mentorship, you can really give what you don't have. So even if you're not a millionaire, you can help somebody become a millionaire. It has happened in network marketing over and over again. How do you do that? By connecting them to a system. Connect them to the system, right? This is a business of you earn as you learn. You will be learning. You'll be heading towards the millionairehood as you help others attain millionairehood, right? So I want us to understand that for you to develop to become a champion senior connector, soaring connector, Ruby connector, your focus must be on producing champion connectors. How many of my teammates are going to be recognized on stage? That's the question you should be asking yourself now. So as we are talking, I want you to go to the chat room and type it out. 5 of my teammates will be recognized on stage. 3 of my teammates will be recognized on stage. 10 of my teammates, whatever I want to type it down. It's all about you. It's all about you. And then when you type that out down, you want to make a commitment to make it happen. That means you have to go recruit those people and you have to go work on those people. We don't want to be recycling old cargoes. We don't want to be recycling people who have been recognized before, will now come and recognize them again. No. We want to have new blood. We want to have fresh blood. They say new blood is the lifeblood of the business. So if you want to have success, your focus must be on helping people become successful. And if you cannot as much as type the number of people you want to help, how can you even move yourself to even help them in the first place? Then right after the Ruby connector, the next level are the people we call the champions elite connectors. A champion elite connector is anyone who has produced 10 champion connectors, right? These are the guys who are existing at the top of the food chain. By the time you have produced 10 people who have become champions elite connectors, you become a champion. So the 10 people who have become champion connectors, you become a champion elite connectors, a connector, right? So it's very, very important. It's very, very important. So we want to understand that everything rises and falls on becoming a champion connector. That is what you should aim at, right? And all these people are going to be recognized on stage. So if you're able to produce 10 people, you are going to be recognized as a champion elite connector. And we're going to check every one of them. Every one of them. Those of you who know me well know that no matter how it is, no matter what is happening, no matter what other leaders are doing, even if they are recognizing people who are incompetent or people who are not qualified, I cannot recognize somebody who is not qualified in my team. I would rather sit down and fold my hands and look at you and look at the jamboree happen, right? But if you don't meet the qualification, I will not push you out there, right? I will not push you out there. You also know that too, from those of you who have gone on trips. Everybody who has gone on trip in my team merits the trip. If you want to go on a trip and you don't merit the trip, you are not going anywhere. I've seen leaders who pay for people just to push them to trips. I don't do that. You want to go for a trip, you must qualify. And right? In Igbo, you must grow to get to a level. So you must grow. That growth is what grows the business. That growth is what grows our business. That growth is what helps you to build your business. So if you are not ready to go through the qualification program, guess what? Nobody is going to recognize you on stage. Of course, you might be there, but you'll be sitting down and others will be recognized. And I will sit down with you. I will fold your hands. I will be cracking joke with you. But you're not going to climb the stage, right? Because you don't merit to be there. When you celebrate incompetence, you build mediocrity. So this is also a call to all leaders. Do not cut corners for your teammates. Because every single person who is going to be recognized, I will get your username and password. I will take my time, open your username and your DTC, and I will check and see that you produce a champion connector. You sponsor that person, right? And before you will be recognized. The pins we are making are going to be quite expensive. So we don't want to, want to give you something very, very good. So that means we want you guys to really merit it, right? Then these are the ones you need to tie up, right? But we have other higher levels in the business. You want to become an emerging leader, right? To become an emerging leader in our team, you must be a silver executive in AIM Global. You must have become a silver executive. You must be a presenter and a closer. Because, of course, you could have become an elite connector without being a presenter and a closer. But for you to be an emerging leader, you must be a presenter and a closer. You must have accumulated at least 500,000 naira monthly. That's making at least 500K every month. You must have a minimum of 7 accounts. You can't say you're a leader and you're running 1 account or 3 accounts. You must have a minimum of 7 accounts. You must fully understand the duplication model, our duplication model using the 444 system and the SMO checklist. You must understand that clearly. You must develop 2 champion soaring connectors in your team. So you want to be an emerging leader, at least 2 people must have become soaring connectors. It means you are a leader, right? You are emerging. And you must put in at least 21 verifiable hours weekly into the business. Why do we say 21 verifiable hours? You want to, this is just about 3 hours a day. You want to have a business where you'll be regarded as an emerging leader. It means you must be leading people. And if people you lead cannot access you, guess what? You're not in business. You're not a leader, right? So 21 verifiable hours in the business every day, every week. So you want to be screenshotting these things as I put them. This is about 3 hours a day. Even a part-timer can put 3 hours every day, right? Even a part-timer. If you're a part-timer, you're not putting 3 hours in a day in the business, you are not a part-timer, you're a spare timer, right? And you must assist your elite leader in fundraising for the group. Now, hear this out. We have been having our Lagos events. That hall, right? The hall and the logistics and everything cost us close to ₦1 million in a month. Your elite leaders are asking you, let us make contribution for the hall. They do a breakdown and they send to you. You're nowhere to be found. And tomorrow when they call emerging leaders, you jump out. You cannot be an emerging leader when you cannot contribute to fundraising for the group. Where do you want the position to hold? On the streets? Not on the street. You want it to hold in the hall, right? And if your leader is raising the fund, you don't want to raise the fund, how can you call yourself a leader? You want your leader to be the one to raise the fund and go and pay. And then you carry your teammates into the hall for the meeting. I've seen leaders do that. And it is repulsive. It's so repulsive. You find people who are supposed to be leaders dancing around payments for hall payments. And you know that your people are coming into that hall. Even if your people are not coming to that particular event, your people are coming to that other event organized by other leaders, and you got paid. If you're in this business, you are getting paid. Do the business where you get paid. You pay for the hall so that you can get paid. You don't get paid so that you can pay for the hall. So when you don't do these things, you appear like a fraud. You don't appear smart. Some people try to do it out of smartness. No. You appear fraudulent to your leaders. How can your leader be raising funds for an event and you're not showing up? There are people who come into this business and they are 1 month, 2 days old, 3 days old, and they hear about the event coming up. They ask us, is there anything we can pay to help fast track the event? Some of them come, they bring 5,000, 3,000. I consider them more of a leader than you. So I want all the emerging leaders currently to step up, and also all the leaders currently to step up. And all of you who want to become leaders, emerging leaders, you have seen what it takes to be an emerging leader, right? Next, we have the leaders. For you to be a leader in the team of champions, you must be a gold executive in AIM Global. You must have the rank. That means you must be maintaining your accounts, right? You must be a gold executive. You must be a presenter and a closer. So if you are not yet presenting, you have to start going towards that direction. You must be earning a minimum of ₦1 million monthly. Very important. ₦1 million monthly. That's not too much for you to ask of you. How can you call yourself a leader in our business? You're not doing ₦1 million monthly. How can you teach people to do ₦1 million monthly? You must be running a minimum of 15 accounts in this business. 15 accounts. You must fully understand the duplication model of using the 404 worksheet and the SMO checklist. You must understand it in full. You must have developed 2 Ruby connectors in your team. 2 people in your downline must be Ruby connectors, right? Very, very important. If you are not doing that, it means you are not even in business. You must put in at least 28 verifiable hours weekly into the business. 28 verifiable hours is only 4 hours a day. You call yourself a leader. People come to you. Imagine leaders come to you. Lots of people come to you, and yet you are not putting it to 28 hours in a week. That is 4 hours daily. So how can they access you when you are not visible? Right? So if you are going to be a leader, all these are things that you have to get done. And of course, you must also assist your elite leader in fundraising for the group. Very, very, very important. If you are not doing this, forget about being recognized as a leader. Right? And of course, to become an elite leader in the champions team. This one is not for kids, right? This one is not for kids. This one is for only people who are ready to take their business to the next level. 1, you must be a global ambassador. You must be a global ambassador in M Global, right? So it's not for kids. You must be earning over 5 million naira monthly in this business. So you want to get to the elite leader status? You must work your business. You must work your team. You start doing 5 million naira monthly, then we're going to recognize you, right? You must be a millionaire circle member in M Global. Of course, by the time you get to 5 million naira monthly, you will have become a millionaire circle member in M Global. You must be running 31 accounts. How can you call yourself an elite leader and people are running, you are telling people come and do 31 accounts when you are not even doing 31 accounts yourself? So you must be running 31 accounts. You must be a presenter and a closer. We cannot say anything about that. If you're not presenting, you're not supposed to be there. You must be a full-timer. You cannot be an elite leader as a part-timer. You must be a full-timer. You must be always and readily available for team members. You must have an office to connect your team from, right? As a leader or as an elite leader, you might, as an emerging leader, you might be sharing office. But when you're getting to the level of a leader, you must have your own office to connect your team from, right? An elite leader, a leader should at least have a table. But an elite leader must have an office. So if you want to get to the level of the elite leader, you must have an office. In fact, a leader should have an office. So if you want to raise your business to the next level, you have to do that. You must develop 5 champion elite connectors in your team. So you must have worked with 5 people who have created 10 connectors each. That means you have built a very substantial team. In fact, how can you do 5 million naira a month if you don't have that? That's the only way you can get 5 million naira a month, right? So you need to have this in screenshot. You must put in at least 8 verifiable hours daily in the business. So even though you're a full-timer, you cannot work less than 8 hours. You cannot work less than 8 hours. Somebody might say, I'm a full-timer, you're doing 6 hours, 7 hours. No, you cannot do less than 8 hours every day. Very important for you to be an elite leader. Screenshot this. It's going off now. Screenshot it. And even after you've gotten all those qualifications, you must be recommended by a champion's elite leader. So you see, you've done all those things, you have everything done. Your G leader currently, who is an elite leader, must recommend you for you to be recognized as an elite leader. Right? And right after they recommend you, guess what? You must appear before a panel of elite leaders to prove yourself worthy of being called the champion's elite leader. Because what the responsibility for elite leaders is huge. Right? It's huge. So you must show up. We're going to sit down with you and we're going to have a conversation with you. Right? Don't worry. Where we're going to sit with you is going to be somewhere very nice. Right? It's going to be somewhere very nice and it's going to be in one of the top class hotels you have in Abuja. Right? And we're going to have a conversation with you. Because we must bring you into the mindset. You must fully understand our duplication model, and you will be one of those that will be recommended to be part of the C21FG G leaders, right? That's the highest decision-making body in C21FG, our parents group. So you are one of those that will be recommended. Of course, when we recommend you, 1 or 2 can be picked. 2 people were picked to join the G leaders of C21FG in January. You're all aware of that, right? So we will now recommend you if you get to this level. And of course, you are going to be decorated as an elite leader in one of our quarterly recognitions with an elite leaders pin. We're going to be doing that in July, on the 25th, 26th, 26th, 27th of July, right? So you want to make sure that you are one of those who are going to be recognized, right? So these are the leadership structure in our team. Everybody wants to have them, work towards them, right? Remember, it starts from building connectors in the business. I also want to show you the daily method of operation. We're talking about regimenting. I'm still going to come back and talk about the event coming up. The daily method of operation, very, very important piece of document you should know for yourself. How do you regiment your business? You regiment your business by following a sequence of activities every day. These activities are things you do day in, day out, day in, day out. You see, the reason you do the daily method of operation is because if you don't do the daily method of operation, guess what's going to happen? You will lose out on so many things. On so many things. that will have created success for you in the business. You won't even know you're losing out on them because you're not doing what needs to be done. You're not doing all the important things. And somehow you see your teammates dying off. Why are they dying off? Because you are missing out on very core things that need to be done. So look at your regimented workflow if you're a full-timer. If you're a full-timer, this is what you should be doing every day. You have to put in at least 8 verifiable hours in your business as a full-timer. And this is a structure on ground. Copy it and use it. Don't change it. Use it and you will see results, right? 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., your cell meeting. You want to run your cell meeting from the office if you're a full-timer, not on the road. Don't put earpiece in your ear. Try and be in the office 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. for cell meeting. If your cell meeting is 7 a.m., then you might be on the road coming to the office, right? But then you have to have your earpiece. That's if you're doing 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. cell meeting. But you must do cell meeting, right? And then 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., reminder calls to all those attending the presentation of the day and follow-up calls once reminder calls are done. Hear me. The mistake many of you make is that you start doing your reminder calls 30 minutes before the presentation in the evening, right? By then, that guy has already located himself somewhere that he cannot leave. Imagine you have a 7 p.m. presentation and a young man is just getting into a bar by 6:30, right? And has just ordered for his drink. And all of a sudden, you're calling him and you're telling him he has a Zoom meeting to attend by 7. Do you think he's going to attend that meeting? No. He forgot. You booked him 2 days ago. So when you get to the office that morning, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., make all your reminder calls first. And then you now start your follow-up calls. People who attended your presentation the previous day or follow-up calls you have not done, start doing them. Right? Very important. Then 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., open your diary. Open your diary, right? And of course, if between 9 and 10 you finish your reminder calls and those other follow-up calls, open up your diary and start your follow-up calls in your diary. Use your diary very, very well. That's the only way to grow. All the calls on that day, treat them first. If you call a number 2 times, the person doesn't pick, cancel the information there, move it to the next day or to 2 days later, wherever you want to put it. Right? And write it out there again. So every day, trust the content of your diary first before you do anything. Always move appointments on your diary to the days you want to handle those appointments. Always include their names and phone number and the discussion you had with them and their reservation code whenever you are following up or you are writing it in your diary. And when you move the content to the next day or some other day, be patient in your documentation. Be patient. Don't rush it. Be patient. When you open a particular day and it is filled up, get a plain sheet of paper and staple to that page and write appointments on that page. Every day when you look at your diary, when I look at your diary, I can tell the health of your business. When you look at your diary, you should see activities for you to do that day. So treat those activities in your diary between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. From 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., booking of new prospects for presentation. Make 50 booking calls. Make 50 booking calls, right? Make 50 booking calls. Make sure that within 2 hours, you have made 50 booking calls. Let me tell you guys, if you're not making 50 booking calls in 2 hours, you are wasting valuable time, right? Your face time is very low. Face time is the time you pay. Sorry, the time you spend in front of a paying customer. Your face time is low. You see, for some of you, when we check how much time you spend talking to prospects in a day, even though you are full time, we'll not even get 30 minutes. Because most of the time you are either looking at your diary, copying one thing, writing another thing, discussing with somebody, going to buy granules, right? And what's the worse than eating granules during office hours? Then when you spend the time cracking it, crack, you throw it in your mouth, you are chewing. You chew, you kind of run and crack. That is a complete time-wasting method of feeding. Eating granules. And when I see people who do that, I already know what their business looks like. So between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m., within 2 hours, you can make 50 calls. If you cannot make 50 calls in 2 hours, you are doing something wrong. Believe me, we've done it with people. Yes, we can tell you 50 calls a day. Yes, but guess what? If you really want to make 50 booking calls, you will do it in under 2 hours. Because there's a script. 1 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. is your break time. 1 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. is your break time. So within that period, go buy food, eat, whatever you need to do. Your break is 30 minutes. 30 minutes. You don't need an hour break for anything. It's 30 minutes. Right? You're building your future. You don't have that time. The richest man in the world, Elon Musk, lives in his factory. No time for break. He's the richest man in the world. He doesn't have a house. He lives in the factory, in a cubicle in his factory. You don't need 1 hour for break. So within 30 minutes, you have eaten, you have rested, go back and continue your calls. 1:30 p.m. to 2 p.m., you want to start sponsoring calls to new downlines. So you see the calls between 1:30 to 2 p.m. It's a soft call. It's not a difficult call. You have your script for calling new distributors, right? So when people sign up into your team, you want to call them, you want to sponsor them, you want to let them know what the SMO check is all about. You want to talk to them, right? So you can do that between 1:30 p.m. and 2 p.m. Sponsoring calls to new downlines, right? Then 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. There are 2 basic activities here. One is prospecting activities, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. So you can interchange them in your team. This is where you share questionnaires, where you process interest forms, right? Where you generate name lists from people who saw your presentation. Now, processing interest form means you use your interest form and you call them and you ask them to send you name lists, 50 name lists, right? Then generating interest forms is about the same thing too, right? So you call people who have attended a presentation in the past, you tell them we can help them start their business and they can give you 50 names to call for them, right? So you can start running their business and when they pay, those people can now be signed up under them. So we have a way of doing that. And then you want to attend to your teammates within this time period too. So you might want to set some days for doing questionnaires and prospecting, and you want to set some days for attending to your teammates. It's very important you attend to your teammates. You see, you don't attend to your teammates from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. No. From 2 p.m., you can talk to your teammates. If not, there will be a waste of time. So if your teammates are calling you, I want to come and see you, I want to come and see you, tell them, come by 2 p.m. Come by 2 p.m. So you will achieve something before that time. Don't be open to talking to your teammates from morning till evening. No. 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., you can talk to them. Right? You can talk to them. So that gives you time to do your business. Then 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., you want to go back into booking calls. Make another 50 booking calls. The name lists are there. You generated the name list from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. That's when you generated the name list. Prospecting activities, sharing questionnaires, processing interest form, generating interest form from people who saw your presentation. That's where you generated the name list. So you still have names to call. And as more people are joining your business, more people are seeing presentation, your name list is growing. Right? So you must make 50 calls. So you can see that following this process, you made 50 calls from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. You also made 50 calls from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And by 6 p.m., you close. That's your closing time. So every full-timer closes 6 p.m. Right? Officially. Then you go home. You have 3 hours to get home. Then from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., you want to start online prospecting using the eligibility link, running Facebook ads, prospecting on social media, blah, blah, blah. You have 2 hours to do that at home. It is not in the office you do that. You do it at home, right? You do it at home so that you can relax and get it done. And of course, after that, you can now go to bed, right? If you follow this as a full-timer, you're going to build a formidable team for yourself. Screenshot this now. Screenshot this. Regimented working for full-timer. Screenshot it now. Are you done with the screenshot? I'm taking it out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, for part-timer, for the part-timers in our business, how do you regiment your workflow? Very simple. You must put in 4 hours daily if you're a part-timer. Now, some people are screaming blue model, or whatever they call it, right? You must put in full 4 hours. How do you do that? 1 hour for cell meetings. So even while you're at work, put an earpiece. 1 hour for cell meeting. Then when you close from work, use 1 hour for booking of prospects. Use 1 hour for prospecting. Prospecting is where you generate name lists, right? Where you call people to give you name lists to call. Or you might want to find 1 hour during your work time to go share questionnaire, during your break time, or whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. Find the time and then use 1 hour for follow-up calls. If you're a part-timer, this is what you should do. 1 hour cell meeting in the morning. Always join the cell meeting. Even if you function in an office. A lot of offices will not have any problem with you having an earpiece in your ear. It can be Bluetooth earpiece on one ear and you're doing your job. 1 hour for booking of prospects. 1 hour for prospecting. 1 hour for follow-up calls. Right? Now, you see, the truth is, a lot of people will say, but we don't have time in our office. I want to tell you guys, the truth is this. If you make it important, you will find the time. If your reason for joining this business is very important, you will find the time to do what is important. If it is not important, you will find all excuses. Right? If you have a child who is sick in the hospital, and you need to see that child for 1 hour every day, will you make it happen? Yes, you will make it happen. You will make it happen. But you see, because there are no consequences for you here, no penalties, you decide whatever goes, no problem. You just take it away. When you decide you want to take this system to the next level, it will go to the next level. It's all about you, right? So you must make time available for the businesses. Excuses don't count. You can choose to live a life of 200K a month, or choose to live a life of 1 million, 2 million, 3 million a month, or more. It's all about your choice. But you must make the choice. If you make the choice to make the excuses, that's fine. You can keep on doing 30K, 50K, 100K, 150K, 200K. It is your life. But if you must move to the next financial level of your life and generate the breakthrough, take your family on amazing vacations, give your family the good things of life, help the less privileged around you, right? Contribute to your favorite charity, contribute to your church or mosque. If you must give yourself the good life, the la buena vida, then you must take those excuses, shove them aside, and do whatever it takes to build. The truth is this, nobody will come do it for you. Nobody is going to come rescue you. You must be the one to rescue yourself. So for those of you who have all the good reasons why you are going to be very busy, you have all the good reasons why you cannot make time to do the business, you have all those amazing reasons why your office work that pays you peanuts and is keeping you broke is so holding you down that you can't do this business. It is your life. Some of you say, why am I shouting? I'm telling you the truth. I'm trying to push the truth into you. It is your life. I'm not going to be there when you are broke. Your boss in the office will not be there when you are broke. When you have challenges that need money, your boss in the office will not give it to you. You go borrow money from app. You are the one that will be calling. You are the one that will be sending your name and number to people, telling them that you came there, you're a fraudulent person, that you borrowed money and you're in love, they'll be trying to reach you. It is your life. If you're okay with that. But if you want to transform your life, you need to sit up. You need to sit up and do whatever it takes. We were 216 in the meeting. Now we're 196. Exactly what I'm talking about. It is your life. People will run away from the meetings. They will not even stay to the end. They've never had the courage they will have the meeting while we're having the meeting. And they're already running out. They will tell you, my phone discharged. Your phone discharged. Put it on. Plug it. My data ran out. Go and look for someone that has data. It's your life. I'm also going to explain to you our standard method of operation. Because for you to become a connector, you must understand the standard method of operation. Right? Now, understand this. This is tweaked a little. Understand this. Right? Understand this. Your G leaders might throw in 1 or 2 more things for you, but follow whatever they're telling you to do. Right? But everything hangs around what you are seeing here. Of course, we understand the mentality behind the standard method of operation. It tells us what to do. It tells us how to do it. It tells us the quantities to do and tells us the duration to do those quantities to trigger success. Those are the mindset behind the SMO checklist, right? Now, what is it in week 1 of our SMO checklist? In week 1 of our SMO checklist, what do you need to do? Attend your first quick start guide and question and answer session in week 1. That's what you need to do, right? Attend your first IPO, your first initial planning orientation. You have to make a name list of 150 people from your phone alphabetically. You're going to watch the video by Regementing. Safe is the new risky. Watch this video. Your leader might throw in some other videos for you in subsequent week, right? Videos like the secrets. You must understand our duplication model using the 4-4-4 system. You must understand our duplication model using the 4-4-4 system. Get your tools. What are the tools? Get your diary, get your hardcover notebook, get your success manual. Very, very important. These are tools you need to grow your business. You must read the introduction and chapter 1 of your first year in network marketing by Mark Yarnell. You must read it. The introduction and chapter 1. You must engage in the first Blitz call session with your leader. Make 50 invitations under supervision. Your leader will tell you how to make those calls, right? You might want to do big announcements with your leader. You might be asked to send videos to 50 people to invite them, right? You might be asked to do base script calls, right? Whatever they call system of invitation your leader is going to put together, it is open to your leader, right? It is open to your leader. But it's going to hang mostly around doing calls, using base script and sending out videos to people to make it easier for you, right? Then the same week, as your leader, as you are doing those invitations, big announcements, and whatever your leader has asked you to do, you are doing it under supervision in their presence. Your leader is also making 50 third-party calls for you. Now, this is the trick we have done. We are no longer doing 50 third-party calls in week 4, 3, or 4. No. From week 1, as you are making your own calls, your leader is making 50 third-party calls for you in week 1. And then you will also conduct your first home launch. You must do your home launch from week 1, right? So in this standard method of operation, you have 4 home launches to do, each person. 4. You must be in massive activity. In each home launch, you want to have about 5 to 10 people in your home. For those of you who don't like people coming to your home, find somewhere you can put 5 to 10 people that has a television screen. Invite them. The script for inviting to home launch is big announcements and nothing else. It's big announcement scripts. We have big announcement script for people you respect. We have big announcement script for friends and acquaintances. So you use the big announcement script, invite 5 to 10 people in your home, and then when they come into your home, you can do a Zoom meeting or you can play them the 30 minutes video, right? The condensed video, the 30 minutes video, play to them, let them see it. There and then. You can do the 30 minutes, you can do the 1 hour, whichever one you choose. You play the video for them, let them see the business there and then, right? If you can keep them for 1 hour, that's better. You play them the 1 hour video. You can take them, give them more stuff. So they watch the video in front of you. So if any one of you can press play, you can sit down with your friends. Your leader must not be there. Yes, because your leader might be in some other places running the same home meeting, but your home meeting is supposed to be happening. So what if we sign up 2 people under you this week? That means your leader has to be in the office, in the homes of those 2 people the next week. Now he can do that. But if they each connect 2 to making 4, that means the week after that, you have to be in the homes of 4 people, which is not possible. That means the remaining, the 3 of you who are there connected initially will no longer be able to have your own home meeting. So if you depend on your leader, it becomes a problem. But use the tool. Use the video. Play the video for them. Very simple. They watch the video. If they have questions, now you can call your leaders. Right? You can call your leader and close them down. And of course, for you to do this, you also need to start learning how we use the dream script. Because that is your first point of closure in the home meeting. Very simple. Right? In week 2, you will attend your second quick start guide and question and answer session in week 2. You will attend your second initial planning orientation. You will read chapter 2 and 3 of your first year network marketing by Mark Yarnell. You will watch The Secret by Rhonda Bryan, right? The Secret. You're going to watch it in week 2. Watch the video. It's on YouTube. You will engage in your second Blitz call session with your leader. 50 Blitz calls invitations must be done under supervision. The second batch of calls that you are going to do, right? And your leader will make 50 third-party calls for you in week 2. Let's understand this clearly. The same week 2, you're going to make a second batch of calls for you, 50 again. And then you're going to conduct your second home business launch, your second home launch. Invite them into a small group. Do the same thing again for them, with them. Then, in week 3, you have to attend your initial planning orientation in week 3. Now, you will discover that in week 3, we have removed the question and answer session, right? And the quick start guide. Then you will read chapter 4 and 5 of your first year network marketing by Machiavelli. You will engage in your third Blitz call session with your leader. Make 50 third-party invitations for your downlines as they emerge. So you can say that in week 3, you and your leader will do Blitz calls. You are the one that will be making your own 50 calls. But in week 3, you will also make 50 calls for your downlines as they are coming up. So you can see what's happening now. So now you are the one making calls for them as they're coming up, right? And then you conduct your third home business launch in week 3. Conduct your third home business launch, right? In week 4, you attend your 4th IPO. Very important. You read chapter 6 and 7 of your first year network marketing by Machiavelli. You engage in your 4th Blitz call session with your leader, right? And this time around, you make 50 invitations for your downlines again as they emerge. Collect lists from them, make calls for them, right? Conduct your 4th home business launch in week 4. And then in week 5, learn how to generate prospects through referrals using interest forms and from people who say no to joining your business. For anybody who says no to join your business, you can get 2 names from them. For anybody interested in your business, you can get 15 names from them. You will now read chapter 8, 9, and the conclusion of your first year network marketing by Machiavelli. Learn social media prospecting, how to prospect using our web link, and how to run Facebook and Instagram adverts, right? And other things you need to know. You do that in week 5, right? So these are the things you need to do to build your business. And then you want to drive into momentum in your business. When you have done these activities to move you to the next level in the business, at a minimum, you want to ensure you do 50 calls daily for 90 days, consistently, to bring success your way, right? So, gentlemen and ladies, that is what you need to understand about our regimented system today, right? And I hope you all screenshotted a lot of stuff. The video is going to also be posted on YouTube so that many of you can guess what, can make use of it, right? I'm seeing some questions there, but I will come to those questions later, right? So now I want to talk about the homecoming, the Champions Top 200 homecoming. And this is where we going to be recognizing our people. And the tagline for the program is grass to grace through momentum. Grass to grace through momentum. Everything we're going to be doing in that program is based around activating momentum in our teams and in our business.